All I want to know is, Mike, would you go to one of Diddy's parties if you're invited today?
I'd go. I'd go see what's going on.
Go out of
But
curiosity.
that's because I know the golden rule when it comes to that.
Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no.
Gotta tell him no.
I mean, that's. I'm gonna be like LeBron. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna see what's going on, and then I'm gonna leave.
They're the
Or
view.
TD Jakes, that's what he said he did.
I don't know.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Hawk Tour, Spit on That Thang. The musical will not be seen at this time, in order that we may bring you something else that will suck the life right out of you.
Hey, what's going on? This is Mike.
JB over here. This is Brian, and you're listening to the Gen X Talk Podcast.
Indeed.
So, we got that part out of the way. We're going live for the first time in several weeks, so
Nice.
let's see
Welcome.
what happens. It's screwy right now, so I did it on my own profile, unfortunately, but once it's done, we'll take it down and we'll clean it up or do whatever we need to do.
No filters today.
Yeah, I mean, why the fuck not? So today we're going to talk about all the things that we've wanted to talk about, but we never got an opportunity to because we were always talking about something else.
AKA free balling.
Yes,
Free balling.
the balls are free today.
It's all right. They're always free, but that's, hey, I'm Scottish.
But I'm going to flip a coin and what's up, y'all?
So, how you been, Mike?
I've been great. Actually, I've been shitty, but I don't want to talk about it.
We can't talk about anything negative right now in your life.
I have a lot of negative things in my life right now that I don't want to talk about.
I'm just curious, like, what do y'all do with your time? Like, we hang out on the show. We've known each other for a long time and all, but what consist of your general week?
Work.
That's it?
I can
Work.
attest to that.
Okay.
Going home. And lately, I've been so beaten down by everything in life that most of the time, by the time I'm done with everything, I'm literally done with everything. I sit in the living room and I play Street Fighter until I fall asleep.
Okay. You can't just say you're beaten down by life and we can't talk about it. I mean, what?
Watch me.
I mean, beaten down by
The
life.
deflection.
What parts of your life, without getting too overly detailed, that do you feel like you're beating you down?
Everything. Life is pretty fucking boring right now. If you want to be honest, if I'm gonna be honest about it.
Pretty intriguing, though.
I don't go out anymore. I don't really do anything. I go to work. I come home. I sit on my ass. I go to sleep, and then I rinse and repeat the next day. And quite frankly, I don't want to just keep doing this until I'm dead. I need some. But there's always more shit to do. You know, we have a number of projects going on at the house right now. So I can't just get up and go on a road trip or do anything exciting. So
Well,
it
have
just
a
is
kid.
what it is. Well, yeah.
No, not for that reason, but you need some excitement, throw a kid in there.
Well, there's a couple of kids.
I was about to
in there
say, he's
as
got a
it
couple of
is.
kids. All right. So what, you want to be more happy by being more stimulated, because this is kind of like the budding entrance to you becoming a married man, right?
I mean, what?
JB,
This is
has
not
a
the
crowbar in
conversation
his
I wanna
hand
have right now.
He's prying his way. Get in
Well,
there.
look. Let me tell you. Look, we've all had long-term relationships in our life.
Currently.
You know, I mean, it's okay to say, Mike, you're engaged, right?
Yeah, it's okay to say that.
Okay, and Brian, you were married at one time. Brian,
Twice.
yeah. But now you have a woman in your life that you've been with for 10 years. You guys live together.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm with the same woman I've been with for off and on for about 10 years. And this last couple of years, it's been pretty, the last year, we've been pretty committed. And so it's safe to say that as men, we have what could be an albatross or a release of weight in the form of a woman and another person. And when you make the decision, and I know we're getting way, I don't know what the fuck we're about to talk about.
There's no topic, so you're good.
But like, no, when you make the decision to engage and get into a relationship with someone, you do give up some of your freedom. Like, I have a great friend of mine that's currently in that position where she's married and her spouse is a great guy, but he's becoming more increasingly frustrated and irritated in his life because he's just not free. Like Mike, you've been so used to just being a guy that lives on your own, do what you want, how you want. Well, now when you intertwine, The Bachelor.
Yeah.
And whenever you intertwine your life, now suddenly you also bring in other people's issues, your own issues. You have to stay dedicated to projects that you guys commit to together. And sometimes that type of restriction can really suffocate a guy's freedom. Plus, you can't even fucking just talk the way you want to talk anymore. I mean, bitches be crazy out there.
It's the sacrifice of being domesticated.
Fuck.
You're not stripped of your individuality. You're just you're consuming another
Look how
person's
nervous we
identity.
are. We are fucking nervous.
Right.
We got women that are gonna fucking. We're not
I want to
fucking.
say the wrong thing.
Fuck cancer culture.
Yeah.
I don't want axe culture when I get home.
I don't mind pissing people off.
So
of a
why am
certain
I
genre.
the most nervous and I haven't even said anything?
Because
Because you see JB with a crowbar over here trying to pry his way in. But no, I get it, man. You're nervous. We're nervous.
because you're new to it.
Well, and the thing is, we're hitting that age where I don't want to call it a midlife crisis or anything, but to your point, when you said you're just bored and you don't want to do this day in and day out, that's kind of why I'm here on this beautiful Saturday morning. This is a release for me. This is a getaway. So it breaks the monotony of my work week of, like Mike said, you work, you eat, you sleep, you wash, it repeat. It's the same shit week in, week out. The key is to find, re-identify yourself. But
you have to do that with someone else.
Exactly. Well, you do have to.
I mean, if you're going to blend a life and you have someone else in your life,
You got to take that into consideration.
you have to now say, okay, I'm not the individual I used to be, because those decisions only affected that one person, really. I mean, ultimately. Now, everything you do, from how you piss in the morning to what music you listen to what you eat, when you leave, every fucking thing you do now has to be somewhat altered and fucking leveled with whoever you're with, right?
Yeah.
And so I think from a male perspective, we begin to say, fuck it, I'm just going to go ahead and keep my head down, and I'm just going to go to work, come home, do my normal, and all of a sudden that normal becomes mundane, and then it's easy to look at your life and say, okay, I'm having a bit of a crisis because I don't get to do what I like to do. But the reality of it is sometimes I think what happens is we don't even know what the fuck we like. We can talk about it, but how much of that shit were you doing before you really got together with a woman?
I started late in life when it came to being out on my own, single. I got married at a real early age, the first time. So, gentlemen, if you're listening, don't get married before you can buy a beer, please. That's way too young. Live a little
I
bit.
will agree with that.
Live a little bit. Get your foundation set. I'm not here to preach, but find yourself first before you offer yourself to another. And yeah, I feel you, Mike.
Well, Mike didn't really ever say that.
No, but I get the gist.
Like,
just
we're
by
just
his
like,
body language.
We're about getting in here assuming some
You
shit.
guys are like totally putting words in my mouth.
Yeah, no. We're not. I'm not saying that. I'm talking
I'm just
about,
saying the monotony of week in, week out work. Having.
So, what do you want to do, Mike?
I don't know. I just want to do something, I want to go out. I want to have fun. I want to, and maybe I am going through a midlife crisis. Maybe that's exactly what's going on here. But it seems like I've been going through a pretty long-ass fucking midlife crisis because I've kind of been where I am for a few years now. And, it just is what it is. I mean, I'm not super worried about it. First of all, I want to do a quick shout out to Matthew and Justine. they had a baby this weekend, just in time for Father's Day.
Congratulations.
Nice.
And
They're first?
yes, their first
Yes.
young couple having their first
The journey
child.
of parenthood.
I believe his
Strap
name
in.
is Bentley. And there's going to be some stories later on in life when Bentley's a little bit older, because he
great
definitely
name,
gave
by the
his
way.
mom a rough time coming out of there.
Oh shit.
But hey, shout out to
She'll
you guys.
forever remind him of that, too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, congratulations, you guys. Parenthood is very rewarding, but get ready. It's one hell of a ride, I tell you that.
Absolutely. Life.
We sound like a bunch of bitter old
Is one-
motherfuckers, you and I. Me and Brian are like, look, Mike, you're fucked. Okay, you're fucking should never got in a relationship and have a woman in your life.
No. Dude,
No,
it's-
I'm completely fine with having this woman in my life. I adore her,
You know,
and I'm very happy with that part of it.
Touche.
I'm just
You know,
stressed out
touche.
with a lot of other things. Let's just
but you know what's
be clear.
You know, and just no, I know. And the thing is, here's the thing, though, and this isn't applying to you, Mike, just in general. I think as men in our 40s, man, it's easy to have a midlife crisis, and I think there's people are going to be listening that are experiencing this quite a bit. It's easy to look at your life and realize that, oh, fuck, I'm not in a spot I want to be. And it's interesting because we're talking about actors. Actor Keith David, Keith David is a friend of mine. And I was with him this last weekend. He came in for a Comic-Con event. And after the Comic-Con was over, we ate dinner, and he wanted me to run him by Walgreens because he likes to soak in Epsom salt bath because he stands on his feet for so long.
amazing that actors of that stature just go to Walgreens.
And that's where we went. So we're in my car, and we went to a Walgreens somewhere outside of Irving, Texas. And we walked in, and
Do people like? Do they?
yeah,
They recognize him.
yeah. I'll tell you actually what the experience like if you want to hear that real quick.
Sure.
When you go out with Keith David, it depends on where you're at. But the first thing is when he talks, he's loud. This is Keith David. I mean, he's loud, and people recognize his voice, and they see him. And like, for example, they come up to him, they'll ask for pictures, or they'll hoover around. They're too nervous, but they're waiting for the opportunity, the right moment. But like at the restaurant, we were sitting down. We had 2 or 3 tables asking him if he was the bishop from Greenleaf, of course. And of course, when he acknowledged it was him, it was an interesting interaction. Everybody's taking pictures, yada yada. And then they want to know who the fuck I am, which is
You're his handler.
that's it. I'm no one. But they're like, who's this guy? I'm no one. But when we went into Walgreens, of course, the little lady that was the what do you call it, the cashier, she was very intrigued with Keith. She knew who he was, and she was a big fan of his from The Princess and the Frog. He did Dr. Facilitate the voice. And excuse me, I'm drinking some coffee here. But she was really nervous to meet him, like literally visibly nervous. And he was like, oh, it's okay, relax. Anyways, we were talking, and we were in the aisle where the Epsom salt is, which is the back part of Walgreens.
By the pharmacy.
By the pharmacy. And he was, damn, excuse me. Anyways, we were sitting back there in the aisle where the Epsom salt is. And I've been having these moments of midlife crisis because of a few things, like people I know have been dying around me, even our age bracket. I just don't know. I get like what Mike said. Sometimes my life is boring and I don't feel like I'm doing enough things that are satisfying to me. And so I asked him, I said, Keith, because he's 68. I said, Keith, I'm 45 this year. And I explained to him, I said, I'm in this point in my life where I just feel like I'm stressed or I'm not happy or I'm questioning my decisions. And he goes, let me tell you where you're at in life. Exactly what he says. He goes,
And at that point, you just pay attention.
listen, this is brilliant what he said. He goes, where you're at in life is you can do it over again. I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, when you're 68 years old, you're too old to start over again. When you're in your 20s, you're too young to know what the fuck's going on. But he goes, when you're in your 40s, you can do it over again. You can be out of shape and get in shape. You can be broke and make money. You can have a miserable relationship and find another one. He goes, you can do it over again. He goes, you're at that period of your life. And he goes, if I had it to do again and I was in my 40s, I would have worked harder to be a cut above. Exactly what he said verbatim, a cut above where I was when I was in my 40s. So, anyhow, that's my Keith David impression, okay? But it was just intriguing because, it really was
Pretty deep. And I mean,
it is deep.
There is very much truth in that. He's right. Just because you feel like you're stuck in, the midlife crisis, he's right. I mean, you have time to make a wrong a right. And this applies to relationships that have been wronged. If you want to bury the hatchet with someone, you have time. Well,
we do. It don't feel like it.
Yeah, and that's the pressure of it because you never know when your day comes. But you can't think like that. You just have to know that you can change at an instant. You have the ability to. Don't think that you're just stuck in a rut. You probably have more options than you're aware of.
Absolutely.
And I get what Mike is saying because I get in that same rut myself. And this doesn't mean it's because it's no one's fault. I love the woman that I'm with in my situation. A lot of the issues I'm battling is just stuff that's always been there before, my current situation. And things that you just drag on and hold in too much. I think the best way to make life work for you is knowing how to balance time. That one resource that we never can get back. And if you know how to balance your career, your relationship with your significant other, your kids, you need your alone time. It sounds easy when you jot it on a piece of paper or even think about it. But to actually, manage that time, as easy it is to say, is a daunting task in itself. But I truly believe once you find that balance as best as you can, I think you can handle life a little bit better because we do tend to overthink shit way too much and probably cause a little fights along the way with your other half. But I definitely understand where Mike comes from. It's you get caught up in the everyday thing, and
listen, here's the thing. You got to change the way you look at life. One thing I'll say that I've always done is I've never conformed. Never in my life. I've never done that in my fucking entire life. I have never conformed. I've never worked a 9 to 5, really. I've never fucking went to school. I never did the things that for some reason society lends you to conform to. And I'm not saying that makes me perfect because I'm a nutcase in a lot of different ways, so there is some tension there.
You tend to think outside the box a little bit. And
well, that and your perception's your reality. Like you said, time. Well, and I agree with that 100%. But what do you do in that time? In other words, if you have time, what parts of your life can you celebrate? What part of your lives are exciting? Like, playing games, Mike mentioned. Well, that's great. Well, do more of that. Enjoy that. You want to go somewhere, plan it. Change the way you look at your life and go, okay, you know what? I'm not going to complain about it. Not saying it's wrong to do that. Fuck it. Plan it. Ask yourself, okay, where do I want to go? How am I going to get there? And how am I going to create this goal to get there? And I think the older we get, the harder it is to do that because we're just tired. We're worn out. Our mental bandwidth is fucking shrunk. But at the same time, you have to have this little inner part of you that says, fuck it. If I want to own a business, I'm going to find a way to start one. If I want to go on a vacation, I'm going to plan right now. Broke as fuck. I'm going to plan how I'm going to get into vacation, and I'm going to figure out how much more money I need to make or what I need to do to cut certain things back in my budgeting or whatever it is you got to do to make it happen. I'm going to make it happen. And I feel like the older we get in our 40s, the harder it is for us to take control of our ambitions.
We tend to settle.
We do. We settle. And then that settling is what becomes mundane. And Mike, I'm not saying you're doing that, but just in general talking, I have that issue. Like, I'll go home after work and I'll usually take a nap for an hour and I'll get on my computer and I'll research something, some sort of business topic, something until the wee hours of the fucking night, right? Or I'll light a cigar up. That's pretty much my primary vice. I'll smoke a cigar. I can't do it in the house. My daughter, she's 22. She won't allow it. You know, she stays with me right now. She's like, hell.
I actually bought a cigar today that I plan on enjoying at some point this afternoon.
Speaking of cigars,
Do it.
I've never tried a cigar.
You never have?
Oh, well, allow me to pop your cherry, or let Jeremy
I'm
do
a
it.
bourbon connoisseur to no other. And I heard, well, you know what goes along good with a nice glass of bourbon?
Cigar.
I hear it.
Yeah,
Just
y'all.
never.
I mean, y'all ever want to come to the house? I'll burn one inside. My daughter's gone this weekend, so I can cheat. Y'all come on over, you know. But yeah, and I'm not. I know I sound preachy. I know I do. But I do feel like there's too many guys like you guys. Not saying you're like this in general, but y'all are smart men, and you got good charisma. You got good personalities. Fuck, the world is definitely your oyster. I mean, you can certainly change your life fucking immediately. And it takes changing the way you think, and it's fucking crazy. Like, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Where you may not like, we get so scared of losing a job, or we get so scared of our lifestyle changing to where we can't make ends meet, or we rely on a person, so we tiptoe timidly around that person because we don't want to affect the way they feel or the way they make us feel, or whatever the scenario is. But if you stop to yourself and just kind of shut your eyes, or find whatever form of meditation works for you, and draw out an image, and I mean draw this image out in your mind of where you would like to be, and ask yourself, what does it take to get that? Is it a money thing? Is it a time thing? Is it a combination? Is it a passion thing? Is it being more mean, more nice, whatever the fuck it is you need to add? And literally set that goal and do it. And then you will become that. You will manifest that. I'm telling you. I know it sounds cliche and Tony Robbins is just fuck. But I'm telling you guys, that's my whole life. Like, you asked me how to become an actor, right? Because I decided I wanted to. People go, well, I can't do that. Yeah, you can.
I think just getting past the roadblock that is your mind.
That's it.
I mean,
That's all it is.
And you have a point, because we are our worst enemy. We're the resistance that keeps things from happening. And I'm the world's worst at talking myself out of something, because, yeah, there's going to be things.
What do you want to do that you haven't done?
I've always wanted to teach history.
Okay.
I've always wanted to become a history teacher.
Do you have any degrees right now?
I do not.
Okay, so how long does it take to get one?
Man, in this day and age, you can get emergency certification to become a teacher pretty quick.
Give me a time.
Even with an associate's, you can get pushed through while you're getting your bachelor. So
How long?
2 to 3 years.
Let's call it 3 years.
Okay, and matter of fact, I know a guy if you're looking to be a history teacher.
But hear me out. In 3 years, Brian, in 3 years, you're how old? You mind, Sherry? How old are you?
Be 47 in about 2 weeks.
All right, 47 years old. So in 3 years, when
About
you're
50.
when you're 50, you're still going to wish you were a fucking history teacher. When you're 55, you're still going to fucking wish you were a history teacher.
Unless you take the
Right now.
initiative to change your way of thinking.
Just
about
do it.
Yeah.
Go literally
Stop thinking about it and just
do it.
Yeah.
Fucking do it. Say, okay, today is, you don't have to do anything but say today. Seriously, I know it sounds preachy. Just say today, I am on my way to become a history teacher. And fucking do it. Get online. Look at courses. Find out how much it costs. If you don't have the money, work more. Take a second job. Cut bills back. Do what you got to do. Sell something. Get a loan from a friend or a family or someone. Do it. And then in 3 years, we're having this show, and you're saying, well, today was my first day teaching. I'm 50 years old, and I got a job at a high school, blah, blah, blah. That's where you're at. Today's the fucking day. That's it. Today's the day, man.
I mean, hell,
Seriously.
you know, is your goal to teach history in a school or to teach history? Because you could start a YouTube channel right now And it's just talking about the history that's not talked about in school.
That's a good
that
point.
Today.
Yeah. And that, you know, that's a good way to look at it too. I mean, I've always considered myself to be in that setting of teaching high school students, not so much middle school, because those kids are a different animal. But JB's right. You know, stop thinking about it so much to make the decision to do it. The thought process should become about how to attain it, but make the decision first and foremost to
That's it.
do it.
Step one, I'm going to research. How do you become a teacher? Step two is, here's some resources. I'm going to explore those. Step three is, I'm going to look at the resources or the financial commitment behind them. Step, blah, 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 blah. So, and I know I sound preachy, but I swear to you, everything in life,
Is attainable.
it is, and it is within reason. You have to understand your talents. Like, I'm not as smart as you. So to be a history teacher,
Yeah, you're pretty smart, man.
differently. I'm not great. I love history, but I'd never be able to teach it. I'm not patient at all. I'll be fucking yelling like a motherfucker. Those motherfuckers. I'm just going to tell you right now. I'll tell you that shit right now. I would not be. But my
So you just
point
lack the people skills with children, but yeah.
well, it's like, yeah, but it's like but it's like the old statement. Like, not everybody can be Michael Jordan because you're not built like Michael. You might think
you have
might
the dreams and aspirations, but within reason, like you said, you have to.
yeah.
You know, I don't want to
You
get
have to
preachy
know your
either,
limitations.
but you have to really understand what is attainable within reason. I mean, you don't want to swing for the fences for everything. You might be disappointed because you're just not built for certain things.
And it's hard, man. It's fucking hard. And again, most of it is sitting on our ass.
Self-doubt.
But it's sitting on your ass. Let me explain something. I've learned this a long time ago, and I'm no specimen here. But if you feel down and depressed and you feel like you're not sure what to do, get up, move. Get up and walk around. When you're walking around, you're creating the endorphins. Your mind becomes more alert. Blood flow happens. I swear, it sounds so cliche.
Emotion creates creativity, and you're right. The juices get flowing. You know, get up and move.
Get up. Get off your ass and do something. I'm talking to myself right now, by the way. Okay, but no, seriously, it's like, do that. And so, like, Mike, what do you want to do?
I don't know anymore, to be honest. I do not know anymore what I'm going to do, where I'm going to be, where I'm going to go. I don't know.
But you know you're
And-
not happy.
But you know what you're interested
Well,
in.
here's the thing. Because everything you just said has been a part of my life for a while. Like, I decided that, hey, you know what? I want to make video games. That's my goal. And I went to the wrong school. I ended up taking something else and going a different path. And for a while, I kind of gave up on the idea. And then I got back into it. I started talking to people, and I was told, you know, hey, if you want to make video games, what you need to do is start making video games. And so I did. And I actually have a couple of games out there that were published, that there's still one that's out there. You know, I never made any money doing it, which kind of sucks. But, you know, at the end of the day, I can say that, hey, I made video games. Right now, I don't have that same energy anymore. I mean, I've tried to get back into it, and, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. So maybe one day I'll get that motivation again to really go for it. But if I had to point to one moment, I feel like losing my parents changed everything.
Amen. God.
Losing my parents changed everything, because honestly, getting the energy to give a shit about anything is hard. And I try to, because back in the day, everything was, I wanted to make my parents proud.
Yeah.
That's my goal. That's what I want to do. I wanted to do these things and show my father what I could do, what I could become. You know, I wanted to, you know, give him a grandkid, a Stewart grandchild for my parents. I wanted to marry while they were alive, and none of those things happened. And sometimes I look at that and it's like, fuck everything. I don't care anymore, really. And I work hard to care. I work hard to find the energy to give a shit because I really, genuinely, deep down in my heart, I do not care.
I can definitely, and this hits home, and oh God, I hope the cancer in me doesn't come out. I'm trying not to get too sensitive here, but I've lost both of my parents as well. My dad's been gone since 2011. Mom's been gone since 2021. I feel you on that, Mike. When my parents passed away, there was something within me that changed. And not trying to get into too much detail. And I'm proud to say that I've recently been getting some help on some of the demons that I battle, I've been talking to a therapist on some things. And I'm never ashamed to admit that I need help. Okay. And I've been getting it. Yeah. I took that initiative. And needless to say, it's been beneficial so far. Man, you know what? I have an outlook from another individual that's given me some perspective that's really helped. But when Mike just mentioned that, man, it hits home. It really does change. JB, I don't know if you still have both your parents.
I lost my dad a couple years ago. My mom's
tough. It is me being pretty much an only child. I didn't grow up with my half brother, but losing both my parents, man, that was one avenue that was just taken from me that I would rely on for guidance and any advice. And to hear some of the things you said about just do it, man, you are absolutely right. And those are the type of things that I used to hear from my parents, but man, when they passed, it did set me back mentally on a lot of goals and some of the things that I used to care about and just changed me as a person.
You know what's interesting? And I appreciate both of you guys telling me that. It's awesome. So, yeah, when I lost my dad a couple years ago, I felt the same thing y'all just said. I could echo a lot of the same things. What it is, and I was talking to, believe it or not, you remember Pauly Shore?
Oh, yeah.
So, and it's out there. If you guys want to go on my TikTok, you can see this interview.
Well, you do get around a lot, don't you?
Yeah. But me and Pauly were talking about the loss of, but during this time, it was right before my dad died. So he lost both his parents. And he was talking about life before his parents and life after. What we've realized, not just me and Pauly, but just anyone else, our identity as men, and I'm talking from men. Now, women, I don't know. I'm separating the two for a reason, but from a manly standpoint.
You can't speak for that.
Well, true, but I mean, no. Yeah, well, she tries to get me to. But anyways, but literally, as men, we are prideful. A lot of our identity and a lot of our wins, we want to show to our parents. We want to give it and deliver it to our parents. We want to say, look, mom, look, dad, specifically even your dad, Yeah. You want to, and you always know, hopefully not every, on those broken households, extenuating circumstances, I get it. But by and large, there's something inside of us that always wants to please them. And that's part of our identity. Well, when they're gone, that part of your identity is now gone, and you're not sure what the fuck and who the fuck you want to work for or make proud. And you have to really look at yourself now and go, wait a minute. It's almost kind of a weird freedom, too. It's like, wait, now I have the freedom to be a loser because I don't have my parents being disappointed in me. Well, now, but not that I would want to do that, but I'm just saying it's kind of a freedom, but it's also an emptiness because you don't know how to or who to work towards impressing or making proud. Maybe impression is the wrong word, but making proud. But what I've discovered is if you have a leadership type disposition, which both of you guys do, I can just sense it. There's people in your life that rely on that they want to, in a form, make you proud. They want to, in some form, please you. And if you can look at that and realize that the torch has been passed to you. The death of your parents is passing of a
It's a
torch.
cycle of life.
It is.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like Mike, I know specifically because, I spend more personal time with Mike at this point, just getting to know you, of course. Even though we have mutual friends for the last 30 years. But I know that with Mike, there's a lot of people, without naming names, a lot of people that revere him. People that look up to you. People that, and even myself, like I always tell people, Mike's been kind of like a big brother to me in his personality, his way. I mean, he's older, sure, a couple years, but just your demeanor. You have a certain
An old soul he has.
Yeah. And in a way, it's like doing this show, for example. I kind of want to please Mike and do it. I know it sounds weird, but that's why I always say, hey, Mike, I feel like, you're the epicenter of it at this point, and I'll do whatever you want me to do.
It's his world, and we're just living in it because his creative juice is about this thing.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. I'm the same way. And
Yeah.
I take solace in knowing that
So
whatever he wants, dude, I'm on board with, and then I'm trying to please him.
that's just it. So, Mike,
Okay, y'all, this is starting to get weird.
but look at it. You got to recognize where your influence is impactful. And you have to realize that was probably given to you because you have great parents. I can say it for Mike because I know enough about his parents. And you probably were influenced to a certain extent to be the man you are by your parents. Get now in homage to them. Give back to those that need you. I mean, you have a support system that needs you, and that same support system will also lift you. Like your lady at the house. What'd you say her first name was again?
Letty.
There's a dynamic where I'm sure you lead her to a certain extent. Just knowing your personality.
I've tried to, man. She's pretty headstrong, but no.
But headstrong, and I get it. I mean, mine too. But headstrong is different than the leadership. I'm sure you want to make that woman happy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I'm sure, like me, you probably can't.
Sorry. Try. I fail sometimes, but it's a work in progress, as am I.
But think about it. The people in your life, even your woman, the kids in your life, your children and stepchildren, any siblings you may have, any associates you have, there are people that you impact their lives. And those people, whether they know how to admit it or articulate it, man, they need you to do that.
And I'm recently, and this was part of, me going to therapy, she had reiterated the same thing. There are people that depend on you, even though you may not feel like it from time to time.
Yeah.
But you impact people more than you know.
Yes.
In a positive way.
Of course.
It's easy to pinpoint how you affect people negatively.
Well, but we do.
We do. It's.
But here's the thing. We're talking. You're right. Fulfillment.
Mm-hmm. I fulfill things that I don't give myself credit for, but I do mean something to someone somewhere down the line.
And in your mind, and Mike, in your mind, realize that is a gift to your parents in their spirit. That's a gift to them, man. Your mom and your dad would be looking at this going, wow. Look at those guys. They are in their own ecosystem. They have their own epicenter. They are legitimately making an impact and being a pleasure to those around them.
But you're right. When they pass away, I think, and this really hits close to home, I need to quit seeking validation through my parents and then worry about those that are living and the impact that I have on them. It was borrowed time with my parents. Like anyone else, they're here for a short period. You try to do your best to take advantage of said time. But once that flame is extinguished, they're no longer here. You really have to look other ways and other people and make sure that you do right by them and realize that you do have an impact on people's lives. And I'm recently have, been struggling with that, but, no through fault of my own, but I do have the ability to influence others with, work ethic or staying positive. People count on you to be a rock. It's a lot of pressure from time to time, but try to think about it so much. Just be who you are, be who the person that you were raised to be. And most of this other stuff will just take care of itself. But you got to stay positive and realize that you do mean something to a handful of people at least.
And keep your circle tight. Like, there's 3 of us in this room, and we could all say if our parents were alive, we'd be able to counsel with them. We'd be able to be vulnerable with them. Go, hey, Mom, I'm having a bad day. Dad, I'm having a bad moment.
Which I did quite frequently. They were my.
It's okay to find that in your peers,
mm-hmm.
and we have to do that. Like, at one time, you remember, Mike, we did this, and I need to do it again. I called it the bro table. It's douchey as fuck.
but there's truth in that, though.
Yeah, I tried to get people together, and the reason I didn't is because I'm just a horrible planner. Keep it going. But I had everyone together, and I was like, hey, let's just all talk about our issues, all men. Let's just lay it out there.
It's a form of fellowship that it's necessary amongst your peers. Like you said, keep a tight group. And to have that, it's a support. I mean, it's a support system.
It's okay to need that.
Yeah. Well, and you are who you keep. If you got your circle pretty tight and you have just a few people that you can depend on, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that's awesome that you used to do that. Now we do.
You do it again.
I'm available. I need it.
I agree. We can definitely do that again. One thing I wanted to mention is that validation. I mean, I've been kind of what's the word? Like, dying for it. Like, I've been, especially these past few months, like, man, I wish I could talk to my dad at least one time.
What would your dad say?
I don't know what he would say. That's why I want to talk to him so bad, because I'm lost right now. I feel a lot of pressure right now. I mean, with my job, I feel like I'm buried in. I have a lot more responsibility in my job now than I did, like, for probably the first 19 years of working there. I feel like I have so much on my plate now that a lot of the times I feel like I'm just winging it. Like, I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I mean, my life at home, where I am, with a relationship, with just my friends, just everything. It's like, how the fuck did you do this? Because I don't know. I'm fucking lost. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just hanging on.
No. So with your job, it's interesting. You say you have pressure with your job, and you have at-home pressure. Assumptively, just maybe the new dynamic you're entering into. And then as well, with your friends, you feel like you're becoming distant from your friends. Is that the issue?
I don't know if I'm becoming distant, but I just feel like I'm in this place where a whole lot of people are counting on me. And it's like I don't know why. And I don't know if I can make everyone happy. I don't know how my father was able to do all of the things that he did. I mean, he wasn't always successful. I mean, I'm sure that there were things that happened in his world that he would regret. And I mean, I have a lot of those too. But it's like, he handled everything. He was like the last true patriarch of our family.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't just like the man of the house. He was the man of the extended family too. I mean, he was the guy that everybody went to when there was a problem, and he always had an answer.
He was the wisdom well.
And I'm getting to that point now where, I mean, I'm nowhere near him. I'm nowhere near that. People don't come to me like that necessarily, but I do have a growing number of people who do think that I have the answers, and I don't.
You've talked me into not texting you during the week. Hey, what the hell are we going to talk about next time? No, I get it.
It's like, I don't fucking know.
So it's,
I mean, honestly, step one, breathe. Let's start from the top. I get the pressure. Mike, it's okay. I don't think you need to have the answer to everything. You know, a lot of this stress that we call, and we place it on ourselves. And just like what JB said earlier about attaining goals, first off, we just have to get out of our own head. You know, not to saying what you're feeling is, you know, wrong, because I do it too. But I know most of my issues, and it may be different for you, but it's because I just need to get out of my own head. And it's okay. You are a patriarch in your family. You may not feel like you've done the great job like your dad did. I don't think anyone thinks that we could ever compare to our parents. Man, my dad was awesome. My mom was the best. And you know what? I will probably not be them, but I can't hold myself to that standard either, because I will fall short. But you're awesome, Mike. Don't feel that you have to live up to these expectations of others. You know, you just be Mike, and hopefully some down the line you will acknowledge the fact that maybe you'll just flip the script and say, you know what, people ask me for the answers. That's a compliment. They think you have it. You may not on everything. But the fact that people think you do, man, that's, you know, it may be a lot of pressure, and that sucks. But at the same time, people look up to you because they think you have the answer. And if you don't, that's okay. But the fact that they think you do, man, that's a cool thing. So we're like, hey, you know what? I have a question about this. You know who I think will probably help me with this? Mike. And they call you up. And I know the pressure's there that you may not have the answer and you don't want to let them down or anything like that. But if you just think about the fact that they think of you first, that's a win. And yeah.
I feel that. I just don't know, you know, because I don't know.
And that's okay that you
want to be that person, you know, sometimes, but a lot of times it can be a beating. I mean,
the expectation of itself.
Yeah, it really can. It's like, if only you knew how much
I'm not as smart as you think I am
just to make it, you know?
But you know what? Because it's interesting. I think there's an exercise I can help you out with. As a business owner and owning multiple businesses and having multiple employees and all this bullshit, right? That I'm proud of, but it's just a lot of it. Sometimes you feel like there's no one else to lean into, that you are bearing the weight of everyone else's demands, issues, concerns. And you have to, in my opinion, this is what I do. You have to go to your resources more and transfer that confusing energy into someone else and get counsel with your peers and your elders. That's what you need to do.
And that's the thing. He's lost.
We're running out of elders.
Yeah, but we are the elders. So it's like, you know, we're getting there. So if you have a problem, think of who you think you could call and to say, look, let me just open up this can of worms on you. Here's what's going on. This is happening X, Y, and Z, and begin to get it out. And what happens when you begin to vent and talk these things out, it begins to release the pressure and give you a better direction. I agree with Brian. I mean, I think it's an honor that people look up to you a lot. But during the moment of that, you might be feeling the pressure to try to deliver what you think you can't. And I think you are. I agree with Brian again. I definitely think you got a patriotic or how do you say it? Not patriarch. Patriarch. Thank you. Damn. You are that in your group, in your circle, because it's just the way you are. It's your disposition. It's just who and how you talk and the way you act and react. It's just what you are. It's what makes you you. And you're never going to be able to get away from that, even if that isn't a reality to yourself. And you're like, these motherfuckers don't know how confused I am. But at the same time, it's not the answers you give that people are looking for. It's the feeling you give them. Because that's what we remember the most. When someone's died, if you think about people that you've known that are dead, the people that mean the most to you are the way they made you feel. You know, like, the warmth, the love, or the whatever the fuck, the passion. So just be okay with knowing, hey, I know what the fuck I'm talking about, but if it makes you feel better to talk to me, fuck it. I'll tell you I don't know. We can not know together.
You know how the key to this life to feel important? Just hold a clipboard. You can get by in life just by holding the clipboard. You look important, you feel important. No, he's right. JB's right. You may not have all the answers, but the fact that you made an attempt, it's the experience. It's not always the end result. It's the fact that you made the attempt that people are going to remember. Man, Mike, he helped me out one time. I called him up. I needed some advice, whatnot. You take the advice, you don't take the advice, but the fact that you were available, that's what people are going to remember.
Yeah.
Not the fact that you just solved their issue. Friendships are based on, the availability, the attempt of helping. It's not the end result, because, hey, you're going to come for me for some advice. Sometimes the advice I give you may not be the right advice, but the fact that I was available for you.
Well, that's the same as a parent.
Yeah.
There it
it's
is.
Trial and error because we find peace going to our parents. I get that because that's just what it is. They're going to give you the best version of themselves, what they would do. It may not work out for you the same as it did for them, but the fact that they were available.
I think with Mike, too, and you're right. I think with Mike, there's an unconditional feel that I've always felt with you that no matter what I really do in my life, unless I'm fucking a serial killer or pedophile or some crazy shit, which I'm not.
That's next episode.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
But no, seriously, I think there's an unconditional friendship, and I think many people feel that. And that unconditional friendship means that they know that person's going to be there. Like our parents were unconditional. We know no matter what happens, they're going to be there for us. They may not always agree with us, right? But they're going to be there for us.
And that's a strong word, unconditional.
Yeah.
That word right there is what the basis is of any positive relationship. Your parents, your peers, the ones that you hold closest to your heart are going to be there unconditionally. And like you said, you keep your circle small because let's face it, we have dozens, hundreds, whatever, how popular you are. You have a lot of acquaintances.
Yeah.
But you have very few people that you can count on a day in, day out basis. And those are the people, not to say the acquaintances aren't important, but it's the other people that, make or break who you are and how successful you can be. Those people that you depend on for guidance and advice, and all the other people are just there for the other bullshit. But, I seem like I'm always in search of just to add to my small circle because my circle is very small when it comes to people that I trust. Honestly, I have 2 people right now, and I'm hoping to add that with you 2 fine gentlemen. Now, I have 2 guys right now that or would you consider ride or die, just that would always be there at the drop of a dime, and I would like to increase that number by a couple because I think 4 or 5 sounds like a good number. I don't know aesthetically, but no, the word unconditional is very powerful, and to have that readily available because that number, it gets smaller. Your parents, they pass away. -2 right there, they'll never be replaced. But at the same time, you do need that small circle of friends that will get back in touch with you.
Well, and that's the whole purpose of a woman, right? Like, let me just side note your thoughts because
yes,
we're all finding these women in our lives because we have someone that we can confide in when times are good and times are bad. And that is what, like with my woman, Olivia, I love her to death. She's wonderful in so many ways. The one thing I love about her the most is we're literally each other's best friend. I can say that. That's what's always glued us together through the ups and downs and the crazy this and that and bullshit. We've always had each other's back in the sense that we could just talk about anything. And I think that as a man, we need to have someone consistently believe in us to fuel our ability to
The validation I mentioned
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. And hopefully, Mike, even in your scenario, hopefully you're getting that with your, with your lady, and Brian, you're getting it with yours.
Yeah, I feel that way. I feel that way quite a bit. I want to go back to the unconditional thing just for a second, because I do feel that one thing that I personally have achieved in life is I've always gone out of my way to be a friend to the outcast, to the person who doesn't have a lot of friends, to
And
the
we
person
thank you, because I consider myself an outcast. Thank you, Mike.
to the people who don't fit in, because I don't fit in. I've never fit in my entire life. And that was a struggle when I was younger. And then I got older and I just kind of learned to embrace it and just be who I am. And I think a big part of that is allowing the people around me to always just be who they are, regardless of whatever, I'm not going to look at someone different because, like you said, unless they're like a serial killer or something.
Yeah.
Because, we all have our unique identities. We all have our quirks or whatever. We all have things that some people may like, some people may not like. And I have like friends from all types of different walks, like just everything that's out there. And I do kind of take some satisfaction in that. And I don't know if there are people who genuinely care for me unconditionally. I believe that my lady does. I genuinely do. I think that's one of the things that brought us together, is that, we have our flaws, we have our issues, and even today, things aren't completely perfect. I mean,
They never will be.
the first thing I'm going to do when I get home is give her a big hug and kiss.
Tell her to suck that dick. Sorry.
That might be the second thing I do when I get home. No, I'm joking. I'm
Just talking to the mic here for a second.
yeah.
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, we need that person in our life. And I try to be that for other people. I try to say, hey, you know what? I have friends who are millionaires. I have friends who are homeless, and I see them equally as great friends, and I try to be who I am to them regardless,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, as I've gotten older, though, I do feel a little bit distant from some of my friends now. I do feel like we've kind of gone our separate ways with a lot of things. And, before it's always been that way. It's always been a on again, off again thing with a lot of them, but it seems like it's been off for a pretty long time. And, we all have our families. We all have our responsibilities that we're all dealing with. So, I mean, it makes sense, but I have to admit that, man, sometimes I get lonely as fuck, and it's weird. And I can be, with the future wife, or, even with a couple of my friends. And it's like, a lot of times I start thinking about the people who aren't here right now, the people that I used to run with every day,
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what happened? Why did we grow apart?
Yeah.
But I get it. That's just the way life works, and I guess that's one of the reasons why I'm always trying to do something, why I'm always trying to have get-togethers, why I'm always trying to create gatherings, is because I don't want to lose that. I don't ever want to lose that.
That's good you do that. I think it's great. I really do. Yeah.
Michael reached out to me. I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
He reached out a few times here recently, and I feel bad sometimes because he's right, man. We got so much going on with our personal life,
Yeah.
kids, responsibilities with the family and everything else. And man, anytime that you reach out to me and I can't make it, I hate it, man. I was like, man, I want to go, want to hang out. I know I got this to do over here too. it's all about finding that balance, like I was mentioned earlier. And it's important that we do that from time to time. Like you said, have the bro table. You know, I understand seeking a get together. You know, you always want to have people over and everything else. Man, believe me, I like to be in a group of people where we can just chill and have a good time and break the monotony of, you know, life, because it can get stale. And Mike, man, dude, you're not in this alone. There's a lot of us that have the same issues that we're going through. You know, we're right here with you, brother. And you had mentioned a few things today that really hit close to home, because I'm battling it too. And yeah, just know I'm trying my best to break away when you invite me over. And then, the best time I had recently was I went over to Mike's house. Was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think so.
Man, I spent about 6 hours over there. It seemed like it, you know, and we just bullshitted. We just talked. That's all it was.
That's all you need, man.
You know,
Just all sorts of random stuff.
Yeah,
We got
catching
into
up,
history.
we just, just reminiscing. You know, we
Opened up the yearbook.
Oh my God, yeah. Just, and then that's all it took for it quenched my thirst, because, man, knowing Mike since, geez, if you want to put it, 35 years, 36 years.
Oh, good God. Do not put a number on
I
that.
was 10 when I met him, so do the math. But, man, it was just simple, dude. He poured a pot of coffee, drank a few cups, and just talked. That's all it took, man. It was the simplest.
Well, that's all we need, right? We're men. Like, just converse.
Yeah.
And we need more of that with men, like, not in a homo way or anything. Not that I have a care about it.
Mike did start to unbuckle his belt. It made me nervous.
What?
I'm just kidding.
No, but seriously, like, you just got to have that. You got to have fellowship, because you're right, man. We all go through the same shit, different elements of it. Feels better just to recognize it and know that you're not abnormal. Fuck.
What is that anyway? What's normal? Dude, you said you didn't fit in back then. Back when we were kids and the whole fitting in thing, it's such bullshit. I think one of your biggest traits is your individuality.
Yeah.
Mike, dude, your mind is a vast place of weird shit. And the second you embrace it, that's probably one of your biggest assets, is the fact that you're just weird as fuck. And that's cool. I like it, dude. You're not one of the normal people out there that's just a cookie cutter version of society. There's something that you bring to the table that, your perspective on things, man. It's like, how the hell do you think that way? But that's cool. The fact that you are that unique, I was telling my wife this the other day about you. I was like, Mike, he's been the same guy since I met him years ago. And then we take our avenues in life where we, went our separate ways, didn't hang out like we probably should have. You're one of the first people I met when I moved to, that area through school. And to know that you haven't changed too much, to me, you're the same individual. And yeah, you say you didn't fit in, dude, you fit in, you fit into who you were supposed to be. And now the fact that you haven't changed and you're still who you are, not many people can hang their hat on that. A lot of people adapt and they change and all of this. Dude, you've been who you are since day one, and to me, you haven't changed at all. And I think that's cool as hell. But I'm glad that you called me up that night and said, hey, you want to be on a podcast for a little bit? Dude, I jumped on it because I know you, and then I knew it was an opportunity for me to meet other people. And then we run with it and see where it goes. I'm having a hell of a time just doing this. It's an escape for me. And I'm thankful that an opportunity has come about to where I can step away from life for a little bit and get behind this microphone and hopefully provide some decent content. But, it is what it is. And yeah, and I'm thankful that, hopefully I've made a couple new friends out of it too. So, cheers.
I agree 100% with everything that was said, man. This has been good for me too. I mean, it's been good just to reconnect with Jeremy and Jabari on a regular basis. I
I
know
wasn't cool enough to know them
he's
back
not
then,
here
but
today,
I
but
wasn't a cool kid.
you know, it's been good. It's been good. Just doing this and having you here today is awesome. And even getting to know Misty a little bit whenever she's here. You know, she's actually my future wife's best friend. So hearing her insight is always good too. And the fact that her and Jeremy knew each other for so long. You know, it's just wild, the fact that we're also connected, even though, you know, we've gone years. I mean, all of us have gone several years with almost no contact at all.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you get back together and it's like no one ever really went anywhere.
Well, there's something to be said about your youth, right?
Yeah.
And when you know somebody that long, it is unconditional because you know them in their rawest form, you know, when they're young.
Yeah, and there's a saying that
Quit your grin and drop your linen.
yeah, no, there was another saying that there was one day that you and all your friends played together for the very last time and none of you knew it.
That's true, though. That's impactful. That's so true. There's also another saying: you don't make old friends.
Yeah, there's that too. And you got to think about it because even for us, you know, there are a lot of people that we went out with and did a lot of things with, and a lot of them are gone for good, you know.
Yeah.
And we did play for the last time. We definitely played football for the last time because let me tell you something, man. I tripped and fell the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and landed on my knee. And my first thought was, what the how stupid were we? We were knocking each other down on the ground and for fun.
Sure, bones were rubber back then.
Like, fuck, this shit hurts.
I had a bad episode in a kickball tournament, and it really reminded me how old I am, and I ended up falling, just running the bases. I got top heavy, obviously. Just
Just
a scorpion where the feet just went over your head,
Oh my god.
and the knees at that point.
We're letting the old man in. You can't do that.
Father Time, he's undefeated.
He is.
But you know what? Embracing the journey, you know, man. Yeah, there was some. To be honest with you, you know, the whole saying is, man, if I'd go back in time, I'd change this, this, and this. I don't know if I would. I mean, that's it's weird to say, but
Well, I would have bought more Bitcoin. Fuck that.
Yeah, invested in
better
Apple.
financial decision.
No, I know what you mean. I'm
But-
just teasing.
You know, you're molded into who you are by experience and individuals, and you know, those are powers that be that you have no business messing with. You can't say you'd go back and just change this. And it's easy to say in hindsight, but you know, us as men, I think it's important that we embrace what is, who we are, and the struggles, the good times, the bad times, those that we've lost. It's just the journey, man, and not the end result that we should be after. It's just embracing, you know,
In the journey, my
That's
man.
right.
Yep, that's what I try to do every day, you know. And I guess, you know, some of the things we were saying before, you know, things are definitely a lot tougher now, and I spend a lot of time pretending to be okay with a lot of things, even though I'm fucking destroyed half the time. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know where this life ends. I mean, I'd like to believe I'm gonna see 70 or 80 years. Maybe you don't see tomorrow. You don't know that.
Would you
but
like to know?
No, I don't want to know
Yeah, I'm the same way.
because I'd be fucked up.
Well,
Either way. I mean, if I knew that I was going to live to be 85, I would do a lot of risky shit between now and then. Like,
Well, I'm guaranteed 85. So fuck it. Wee. You know.
yeah, no,
yeah. Or if I find out, I only have 1 week to live. I'm probably going to do even more crazy shit.
You have a bucket list.
Yeah, I'm going to go out and do it all. Yeah, exactly.
Mike's would be sexual. Just knock those off the list.
Okay, yes, some of them are.
Depends on what he's dying from.
It depends on what I'm dying from.
Let's say you're totally intact, so that's still working for you. So let's knock everything out.
I'm going to go do all the things if that's the case. All of the things. Well, not all the things.
And
But
that's
I'm going to
what
do a
makes
lot of
you-
the things. Yeah. But I don't know, man. It's still exciting. I mean, I do hope for a little more excitement in my life because I do know that I'm about to be 47 in a couple of weeks, and I'm on the wrong side of midlife. I'm on the side where I've lived more life than I'm gonna live. So
let's do this.
I'm gonna fucking party.
He's got the 8 ball.
I got the 8 ball. And this 8 ball, we've never really done it like this, but we're getting some deep conversation today. So, what is your greatest concern, Mike?
I don't know what my greatest concern is right now. My greatest concern is I don't want to live my father's life.
What do you mean? You don't want to be under his shadow?
No, what I mean is when I talk about, I feel like every day I just go to work, I come home.
You don't want to be in a Monday.
I sit on my ass, I get ready to do it all over again. I kind of feel like, and my dad, he did do a lot of cool things too. I mean, he really did. He did a lot of awesome stuff.
You don't want the 9 to 5 Monday.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like that's the only part I'm getting.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
You're next, Brian. All right, hold up. Yeah, Mike first. All right. Will Mike lead a life as his dad's life, the 9 to 5, or will he change that course and be dynamically different? Here we go. The answer is no doubt about it. Look at it right there.
The gods have spoken.
No doubt about it, man. You're going to be living that crazy ass life. Now go shake that ass when you get home. All right, Brian, what's yours?
My biggest concern?
Uh-huh.
I want to make sure, I hope, that I've left my mark on others, mainly my family and kids, a positive. When I'm gone, I'm deeply concerned, and I shouldn't be, but I just want them to have a positive thing to say about me, that I did my job. I influenced them the best way that I could, positively. I just want to leave my mark.
Let's see what A-Ball says. The question is, will Brian leave a positive mark on those
that care about him?
Yes or no, or whatever the fuck. We'll see. Hold on, it's stuck. Should really trying to think about this one. Hold on. Still stuck. Hold on.
The gods are debating.
Oh, damn it. Oh, wait. Hold on. Positively. Here it is. Right there.
Well, that's the word I was looking for. So, the 8 ball don't lie. What is your concern?
I just want to know if I'm going to get my dick sucked tonight. I ain't going to lie.
Well said.
All right, this is what I want to know.
Probably not.
Hold on.
Here it comes.
Damn it. It's hung up again. Hold on. This. Don't bet on it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Fuck this 8 ball.
You better stop and get flowers.
That's right. I got to work on it. You want to end this, Mike?
I do believe I do want to end this.
This session of Kumbaya has been awesome.
Yeah, man, it really has.
And just want to say, on a side note, happy Father's Day to the guys out there.
Yep, back at you.
And for whoever's watching, happy Father's Day. And that's it.
And be kind and rewind. Or whatever the fuck. Anyways, we're out. See you later. Bye.
Later.
Bye.
The Gen X Talk podcast was brought to you by absolutely nobody. Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every week. And if you're really generous, become our Patreon at Gen X Talk Pod. Bye-bye.